Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, love, laugh, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Fay on ubnradio.com.
And welcome. My name is Dr. Marissa, and you are listening to my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa every naturally high noon on Tuesdays out of the Sunset Gower Studios, ubnradio.com. And then now Thursdays on my newly syndicated NBC News Radio, KCAA, AM 1050 channel, or at kcaaradio.com. And this is where Scandal is actually made. But my show, there is no scandal, no gossip, no gossip and no K-words, no Kardashian talk, no angry ranting, no political rhetoric, no gossip, so that you can focus instead on your own reality show and how to be happy 88% of the time. I'm your host, Dr. Marissa Pay, an organizational psychologist and shrink that wants you to expand. We have to fix that, haha. And thanks to my station managers, Tony, Bill, and sound engineers Carlos and Mia at my UBN and KCAA broadcasting families, and my assistant producer, Jarvis Essex. And if you missed any of my past shows with past Oprah guests like Dr. Pat Allen, Janine Roth, Fran Drescher, Dr. John Gray, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, Don Miguel Ruiz, Leave It to Beaver, Jerry Mathers, and Rick O'Barry, please check out my iTunes channel and my YouTube channel for free podcasts of all of those shows. And thanks to those guests, combined with winning several now Asian Heritage and Asian Entrepreneur Awards, they're calling me my newest moniker, the Asian Oprah. And very honorable to step into that. And all that means is I have to give stuff away. So stay tuned to the end of the show when I do give you something during our balance bar moment. So I am highlighting today some really wonderful, important, fascinating people who share the stage with me upcoming in a couple of weeks at the Asian Heritage Awards ceremony. Yes, I have been blessed with my 5th award now. I am in the category of Best in Entrepreneurship, bestowed on me by the Asian Heritage Awards. And so I thought I would bring in some of my fellow award winners. And first of all, just a little bit about the Asian Heritage Awards. I want to give them kudos, especially since they chose me. It's in its 11th year and grew with the introduction of California's first English language Asian American newspaper, Asia, the Journal of Culture and Commerce. In 2004, the publisher, Roz Carmen and Len Navarro, becoming aware of the proliferation of achievers in this community, decided to establish the award and created the Asian Heritage Society to produce it. The awards honors Asian American achievement in several categories, from entrepreneurship to innovation, and this year, in its culmination of 4 days of a conference focusing on ways to uplift the Southern California economy. The conference, Make It in America, takes place November 19th to 22nd at the California Center for the Arts in North San Diego County. And the awards, the Asian Heritage Awards, the evening of the 22nd, also at the center. So more information at AsianHeritageAwards.com if you would like to come and support me in that wonderful honoring. And we also have other wonderful, I didn't have enough time to have all of the award winners on, but Dr. Flossie is the woman who is responsible for cloning and doing research of the HIV virus, which is amazing, and doing amazing work in the battle against AIDS and curing it. And then a little later on, we are also going to have a call in from India of Deven Patel, who's the CEO and founder of GIOSTAR, and he'll tell you more about that. And he is one of the pioneers of stem cell research, and they're opening a new hospital all over, spreading out and doing just wonderful work in our health and well-being area. But without further ado, in the studio today, we have a treat because I had her bring her instrument of creativity as well. We have Tina Guo in the studio with me.
Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. You're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. You want to sit up just a little closer?
Sure.
That'd be
Is that
great.
better?
There we go.
Hi.
Hi. I won the best in entrepreneurship, and you
Yes.
won extreme innovation. I love that title. So
Thank
tell
you.
me what you're innovating of.
Well, I think I'm pretty normal, but I do play the cello, and I started out as a classical musician, like most cellists, especially Asian cello players.
Yes.
And then I started experimenting with different styles of music, and now my specialties lie in classical music still, but also heavy metal. And
Okay, now there's a big jump. Classical, heavy metal. I'm all about balance. How did that
Yes.
happen?
I don't know. I think it's always been a part of me. I think I'm just naturally a very maybe extreme and dichotomous person.
Okay.
So I'm very extreme in both, both sides of the balance.
Okay.
And I also, of course, I also play other styles of music, but the two, I think, genres that speak the most intensely to me, that come out of me most naturally, would be those two.
Classical. and-
Yeah, those two types
Wonderful.
of music. Yes.
And can I ask what flavor of Asian you are?
Yes, I was born
From a fellow flavorful Asian.
I was born in Shanghai, in China.
Oh.
Yes.
讲国语.
Yes, Zhangguo.
Oh,
you
I didn't
too.
know.
Okay,
Oh, there you
yes.
go. That means, do you speak Chinese? And she said yes.
Yes, I speak Chinese. Thank you.
Wonderful. 谢谢.
谢谢.
Actually, my listeners know what that means.
Oh,
谢谢.
okay.
I try to teach them some Chinese every once in a while.
Oh, 谢谢.
But so you were born in Shanghai.
Yes, and then I moved out to America when I was 5.5.
Okay.
And then at age 6, my parents are both classical musicians, so it was kind of, part of the family trade to go into music.
Absolutely.
We moved to San Diego, and that's where I grew up until I turned 18, and I went to USC for college here in Los Angeles.
There you go. And did you take music at USC?
Yes, I had a scholarship, thankfully, for at the Thornton School of Music at USC, which is a great music program, and I actually studied there for 3 years, and then I dropped out, which is very
dear.
bad, but it was actually a good thing.
Okay.
Because
I don't know if your parents would say that,
oh
knowing
my gosh,
that
we don't want to go into that.
Yeah,
They were.
I'm a
very, very-
recovering tiger mom.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
My parents were, bless them, were more than tiger parents. They were, I don't know what, dragon, tiger, fireball, super parents. But
I'm mom.
and so I actually dropped out because in the second and third year, because I was also working, of course, to make money, because
Right.
the scholarship doesn't cover
Right.
living costs.
Right.
And I was supporting myself. So I started doing different gigs and, teaching and performing. Luckily, I had some concerts that started to happen. But unfortunately, if I was performing or I was somewhere else, I wasn't in the classroom actually
Okay.
learning what I was supposed to learn.
Right.
And I wasn't doing very well. So in the end, it turned out to either be focused on my studies or continue building my career, because I was in the very early stages.
Right.
And I decided to go with the music, of course. And I'm very grateful that I did that. I think that was
Great,
a good
great,
thing. Yeah,
good.
nothing against school or anything.
No.
School is great. Stay in school.
Yes,
Okay.
stay in
Stay in
school. My
school.
father would roll over right now if
Oh,
he
no.
heard that. He was actually from Shanghai as
Oh,
well.
okay.
And I want to take this moment to balance out one of the BS belief systems that sometimes gets us all into our panties in a waddle. We tell kids stay in school, go, that American dream kind of thing, get as much school as possible, as fast as possible. That's what my father would say to me. And school is important. I tell my girls the same thing. They're teenagers, so turn this off if you're listening. But at the same time, that's not the only way. So I want to applaud you. And I also want to do this. Your mother did not ask me to say this, but you can always go back.
Yes, definitely.
You can always go back. And for me, I kind of went the other way. I had that fork in the road too with music. I was singing, playing the piano. I was a lounge lizard. I'm now a retired lounge lizard. But I, also, had an audition with the manager of Sade, and we were all going that way. And my father said, you know what, you can always go back. So I use that same thing. You can go back to either, but the most important thing is to juice your life. And it sounds like that's what you're doing.
Definitely. And of course, it also depends on maybe what it is that you're doing with your life. For me, as far as music or acting or, painting, in my experience, which is, limited, of course, so don't take my word for it. But whether you have, 5 degrees or 10 degrees or, a doctorate, a postdoctorate, in the end, music is music. And having a piece of paper, learning the theory behind something doesn't necessarily translate to, I'm not saying if you're a musician, you have to be a performer. That's very different. If you're a professor, a teacher, a lecturer, of course you need a degree.
Yeah.
If you want to be a doctor, please, get a degree and be certified. But I think in some, select situations, it's not always, the only way, like entrepreneurship, business, and other, kind of innovative things or whatnot. So there's not necessarily a right answer, but I definitely appreciate the years that I did spend in college and all the people and the connections that I made that I still have now. So it is a very valuable tool. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to college.
Yes,
for sure.
absolutely.
Yes.
And I asked you to bring your guitar here. I would love to hear you play something for us.
Sure. So I brought my acoustic cello today because bringing the electric and amplifier and pedals would just be a mess. So we have a little bit of time, but I also write original music. And this song I actually played on an episode of Shameless, which will be airing next year in the next season, because I also play on film and TV video game scores. And so I actually appeared like as a character on the show, but playing the cello. So I'll play the same piece.
Oh, wonderful.
I haven't really practiced this morning, so excuse me, but hopefully it'll be fine. Okay,
it'll be great.
Okay. Thank you.
If you've just joined us, I am speaking with Tina Go, and she is a fellow award winner at the Asian Heritage Awards. That's coming up in November 22nd. If you go to AsianHeritageAwards.com or the Make It in America conference, you can join myself and Tina there. And I'm very pleased to bring some of the award winners on with me. She won in the category of Extreme Innovation. She's a fabulous cellist, both classical and electrical, and she's going to play something for us right now.
Thank you. Can we do a quick check? Can you hear this?
Sure. Is that good?
Okay,
Awesome.
Here we go. This song is called A Love Story, but it's kind of depressing. So anyway.
Okay, the song is called A Love Story, and if you are, she says it's depressing, so if you have any unprocessed sadness, this is a good time to process it, because tears are the disinfectant that keep your heart soft.
to record at the end because it was too depressing.
No, it's beautiful. I'm crying. That's so beautiful. I just, I one of the best things that life has to offer is music. I just, it just takes your heart and your soul to a different place. And you definitely have a gift, Tina. Thank you for sharing your gift.
Thank you so much for letting me share.
Absolutely. I'm just, okay, so there's so many things I want to talk about. One, I mean, we could do a whole show on what it's like being a Chinese American,
Sure.
right?
Yes,
With
yes.
that, trying to balance what your parents want for you and their old traditional ways and thoughts about school and achievement and perfection and,
Yes.
getting married and have children. And I know my father said to me when I got my PhD, he said, okay, now I'm half happy. Now go get married and have kids. So there's that aspect that I want to talk to you about, but also the aspect of taking your gift and what does it take? So I believe that we all come onto this planet and everybody else, 7 billion of us, have a unique talent, gift, and ability. And our job is to find that and then hone it. When did you know that this was your gift?
Well, to be completely honest, I actually hated playing the cello until I was about 18 years old, so only a year before college, because the cello for me, again, I mentioned earlier that both my parents were musicians, and my father was my cello teacher from the time I started when I was 7 and a half. So for a decade, every day, it was even as extreme as locking me in my bedroom to practice. So I practiced for, 5 to 8 hours a day, every day since I started. And as a child, I was definitely extremely unhappy, I think, which led to a lot of my maybe angst and anger, which comes out in, metal and sadness and whatnot, which I cherish now because I think it made me a more diverse person. I have more experience with different emotions and whatnot. But so yeah, I really didn't like the cello because it was used as I had to do it, but it was also used as a punishment as well. So if I did something wrong, which was every single day, apparently something was not correct, I had to practice. If I was good, I had to practice. But it was very I don't know, it was just not, for at the time, it wasn't like artistic expression, it wasn't emotional like it is now. But what I didn't realize at the time was, of course, is it the 1,000-hour rule, or if you do anything
for 1,000 hours,
1,000 hours, if you do, if
that's
if
the
my,
honing part.
Exactly. If my parents had forced me to play basketball, even though I'm kind of short, I guarantee you I would have been a great basketball player if I played 8 hours a day every day since you're a child.
Right.
And so I actually stopped playing the cello for almost an entire year when I was 17, because I got to a point where I was just extremely, unhappy as a person, because my life was very limited. I'm not sure about your experience growing up, but of course, as a Chinese
all I
American,
did was study.
Yes, exactly. And maybe other, good Asian children were better at dealing with it. But for me, I think I've always been very extreme in my emotions, and I didn't do anything like psychotic, but I got to a point where I'm like, no, I was very, very angry, and I freaked out, and so I stopped playing. And I'm not quite sure how actually I got back into it, but I think I realized after a point that, I was actually good at cello. That's like the only thing that I was really, really good at, because that was what I had honed, like you mentioned. And then when it came time for college applications, of course, and I applied for, for cello, I also thought about different things, like maybe going to medicine or business, which I really liked. But I had full scholarship opportunities, to multiple schools playing the cello. So of course I went in that way. And then after I left home and I came to LA and I was kind of free, or in my own self for the first time. Of course, the first month of college at USC, there's a frat row where all the fraternities and sororities are. So I went out. I actually don't drink. I've never drank at all, which I think is a part of me being a control freak, because I don't want to be out of control. So I don't want to, lose like the conscious
I have
control.
no idea what you're talking about.
So I went out every night for a month, to frat rows, just to see what the experience was like. Because I never went to parties. I never was allowed to hang out with people that were maybe different or were bad influence or whatnot. So I did that, so that was good. And actually, in the end, not that it was boring, but I really didn't do anything for me. So I realized, I guess I wasn't really missing out on that much.
Okay.
And And then perhaps because again that discipline was so ingrained and drilled into me, it like became a part of me, and it still is now.
So there's benefits. There's
yes,
benefits
there
and
are-
consequences.
There are very, very strong benefits, and I actually don't know how I'm going to mother my own children because I'm very torn about this. Actually,
Yes.
it's like at the same time,
it's called balance.
yeah, I don't want them to feel the way that I felt about my parents, but at the same time,
There is some value to
there
that
is value
discipline.
to it, for
Absolutely.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah, I'm about to publish a book called Balanced Parenting, the center between the rod, right, the old way, and the spoil, the new way. Because no limits at all is not helpful as well. But we're almost out of time, and I do have another guest calling in from India, but I'd like you to stay and, feel free to say something. But thank you so much for sharing your gift.
Thank you.
And I'm sure we'll talk some more about being Chinese American at another time. But we'll see you at the awards where you are performing.
Yes, I will be performing.
So if you want to come just to see Tina, please do actually just Google her. I found some great clips on YouTube of you playing the electric, the bee, that bee. I think we're going to try to go out on that song, but you're fabulous. Thank you for sharing yourself with me.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
All right. And we're going to go to break to our sponsors and thank them for sponsoring Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. And we'll be right back with another award winner, Devon Patel, who is Skyping in from India. We'll be right back.
Want to feel like a star? Have an event that could use a red carpet? Event Step and Repeat will produce a professional banner or backdrop for you with excellence ×3. First, we provide the cheapest step and repeat banners in California. Second, we focus on speedy delivery with a 24-hour turnaround rate. And third, we want you to be happy, so we provide the best customer service on the planet. Visit us at www.eventstepandrepeat.com or call 888-377-1377 today.
Do you want more life balance? Are you 88% happy with your health and well-being, your relationships, your livelihood? If yes, do the abundance. If no, and you'd like a life balance tune-up and align those head, heart, spark plugs and smog check the BS belief systems that are clogging your lifelines, contact Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura at www.4balance.org for a session on the air or a private one on the beach.
And welcome back. I am Dr. Marissa Pei, P for positive, EI, and you're listening to Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon on ubnradio.com and every Thursday at 7 p.m. on AM 1050, my NBC News Radio channel, KCAA radio.com as well. And you can call into that show at 832-999-1050 in order to listen to it live. And I am here today highlighting one of my great, wonderful things that I have happen in my life, and it happens every time I wake up with an impending sense of good. I get calls and emails telling me that I just won an award, and this year I actually won 2 in August. I just celebrated winning the Lotus Award Business Person of the Year with the Asian Women Entrepreneurs, which was my 4th award. And then my 5th award will be coming up in a couple of weeks, the Asian Heritage Award, and I won in the Best in Entrepreneurship class. And so I thought I would have a show, because I went and looked on the list of the winners with me and found some extremely interesting and fascinating and impressive people. And you just heard in the first half from Tina Guo, who won Extreme Innovation, fabulous cellist, both in classical and in electric cello. And my next guest is calling or Skyping in from India, and he is the winner of the Best in Business Enterprise category. He is the founder and CEO of GIOSTAR, which is the Global Institute of Stem Cell Therapy and Research. And Deven Patel is with us today. Thank you so much for joining us. Hi, Deven. Are we getting him? We are having a few technical difficulties, so we'll let my assistant.
hear you.
Oh, yay! There you are. I think I said your name wrong. Devon Patel, correct?
That is absolutely right.
Oh, wonderful! Thanks so much for joining me. You're in India right now. Where are you?
That's right. I'm in India, in the city that I was born in, and the house that I was born in, and the room that I grew up in.
Oh, are you
This is
having
my
a
little
deja vu? How does that feel?
It's my parents' house, and this is the city where we built our world's first dedicated stem cell treatment hospital.
Wonderful. So let's jump right into that. I'm not even going to try to introduce you properly. I want you to tell me what happened, what are you doing, and what amazing things are happening in your field of expertise.
Absolutely. Myself and my partner and co-founder, Dr. Anand Srivastava, we are the co-founder of GIOSTAR, Global Institute of Stem Cell Therapy and Research. Tried to say it 3 times. Basically, he's the one who started the field of stem cell. He's one of the pioneer in United States and responsible for starting the field of stem cell research. He started his career at UCSD. He was originally at Japan. He was invited by Prime Minister of Japan to do research over there in 1997-98 time, and he cloned 27 genes in those days.
Wow.
To clone one gene would take a lifetime, and to a scientist, and that sent a ripple effect around the world. That is what is going on. How is that possible? And then he came to United States. He was invited for one of the conference where he was talking about how you can change the damaged pancreatic gene and replace with the proper genes so that you can fix basically cure a diabetes. So, and that time, basically he was received with the red carpet in the United States, and he started his career at University of California, San Diego. And during the same time, I came to San Diego from Chicago. And only reason I came to San Diego was for sunshine and the fresh air.
Myself included, from Canada.
That's right. So you can relate.
I totally.
And basically, we met at the temple, Indian temple, and we started. He knew about me. I was very active in the community and the local politics and everything, and in the businesses. I own a couple of businesses, and I was the president of the temple, and he's the devotee at the temple who comes and go all the way close to the deities and sing beautiful devotional songs. And I would stand at the door and I receive people and I say, welcome and goodbye, and namaste. And so one day, basically, he came to me and said, hey, Devon, I'm working on something very exciting, very new, very new science. It's not many people even know or understand. And I wanted you to be part of it, and I want you to take this science and help me take this science around the globe. I said, thank you. And so people said, what kind of, I always tell it was a divine intervention, and in our case, it was a literal divine intervention in the temple.
Yes. Literally, figuratively and literally. That's fantastic. Right. Now, for listeners who, I'm a pretty average, I think, listener myself. That's why I started the show. I wanted to know more, and I like getting, paid for what I have to do research on. So the show is born. Tell the people who are not familiar. I know when you say, do the word association, stem cell research. So it's the science or the exploration of, for those who are unfamiliar at all.
Stem cell research is the most latest and greatest science of our age. It is called regenerative medicine. So anything that degenerates in our body get regenerated by stem cells. So stem cell is a master cell of the body. And from there, the entire body is created. So we are nothing but made out of all kind of different cells: skin cells, heart cells, muscle cells, brain cells, and, from the one single cell, So we are nothing but the combination of so many, millions of different cells. And stem cells' job is to repair that anything that is damaged or anything that degenerates, it regenerates, and that's why it's called regenerative medicine.
Great.
Hope that makes sense.
Yes, and in a very illustrative way. Thank you. Now, what is just a brief sideline? Why is there some some component that is negative around? Like, I know that there's some people who, you say stem cell research and they throw up their arms and they have a very negative reaction. What is that about?
I think it's just a lot of misinformation in the media, but it's not more negative. I would say it's more misinformation. But
Okay.
if you think about it, we have billions of dollars pumping into this research. California Institute for Regenerative Medicine, which is the biggest government entity, which was created during the Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was a governor.
The governor?
Governor, right? That's right. That time, what happened? President Reagan was against embryonic stem cell research, and he was suffering from Alzheimer's, and he passed away due to that. And after that, Nancy Reagan, the first lady, came to San Diego to find out the science that Reagan was blocking would have helped in his condition or not, or how this science can help to cure many incurable diseases. At that time, one of the authority in the country was Dr. Anand Srivastava, our chairman and my partner and co-founder, and they both talk, and that's how the whole debates restarted in the country. We're talking about 2004.
Okay.
And that debate led to, if you remember, Prop 71 that California people approved that gave $3 billion under Governor Schwarzenegger
Yes.
to continue stem cell research,
Okay.
and
That's-
therefore,
okay.
I would like to say that it's not United States, it's not California, it's the San Diego. La Jolla is the epicenter of the stem cell research, and we are from La Jolla, California. And because there's a Salk Institute, Burnham, UCSD, Scripps, and these are the pioneering research institutes in the world. I mean, Salk is the only Salk Institute, and because of the Jonas Salk, the founder, we're getting rid of the polio around the world with one man's dream,
Right,
and
right.
same thing started with Dr. Anand, and he said, our chairman, Dr. Anand Srivastava, he said, let's make this science available to the masses. And I said, well, in America, I mean, we're doing adult stem cell for so many years for like lymphoma, leukemia, thalassemia, sickle cell anemia. We're, bone marrow transplant. That is a stem cell transplant. And it cost
A lot of money.
$250,000 a transplant average.
Wow.
And that is an actual regular clinical practice in United States for so many years. So there is a lot of misinformation in the
Okay.
media, I would say, than the negative. And so he said, make this science available to the masses. And I said, how do you expect me to make $250,000 a pop, most elite, most expensive, and most advanced science available to the masses? And he said, well, that's your problem.
True scientist. My dad was a scientist.
So, and what happened in 2008 during 2007-8, I received a call from Indian government from India, and at that time, now the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, I got a call from him and say that, hey, look, we heard about you guys, and you're doing a great work in the field of stem cell research. And in my state, I have a very poor tribal people who are suffering from a blood-related disease called sickle cell disease, sickle cell anemia. And said, would you please help? Because there are thousands of them. And that was the music to my ears. And because, Dr. Anand said, make it available to the masses. And
Right.
this guy's telling me that I have thousands of them. I said, right away. I basically flew in to India, met with him. We talked about it. And basically, result of that meeting, that we are today creating the world's largest stem cell treatment hospital in India, 7-star, and we're taking the most advanced science to most downtrodden people on the earth, and that hospital is 70% complete. It's a world's largest stem cell treatment hospital
That's
and
wonderful.
research hospital, and it'll be ready sometimes next year, 2015.
That's fantastic.
That's the power of the dream, power of the compassion, power of your belief. And believe in the abundance blessings that flow through from above. And I'm a living example of abundance blessings. And that's my life is all about.
You sound like my brother. That's fabulous. You get the Dr. Marissa Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award. I'm so grateful and so inspired because this is exactly what we're on the planet for. We're not on the planet to, find that $250,000 to make ourselves well. We're on the planet to find a way to spread the well-being that we all naturally are. And that's what you're doing. And
giving is the best way of living. That's the motto I lived from the beginning. And, I was actually crying in my prayers for so many years to God to give me a purpose, And when the stem cell science basically dropped in my lap,
yes.
that's where I basically realized that, yes, that is the purpose of my life. Finally, I found it. And I'm telling you, I'm not just passionate about it. I mean, this is how I live.
I can hear it. I can hear it in your voice. You are happy. You're more than 88% happy because you found something that you're supposed to be doing. And that's how I felt, doing what I'm doing now. And I think that, how do you get to that place? And Tina, you're in your passion too. I think that question, I recently heard an interview, and Oprah said from a very young age, she would ask, how can I serve? How can I serve? And all of a sudden the lights went on for me. That's why she's successful. That's why she has the money energy she has, is because she's a conduit. She's a channel. That's why you are as successful as you are, because you are doing something that is, you're being a channel. That's why the music that's coming out of you, Tina, is so beautiful, is you are open to this thing called being a channel. And this channel of the energy that we're all connected to, that is abundant, that is prosperous, that is kind, that is peaceful, that is loving, that is creative, that is inspired, that is bliss and wonder. That is what life is about. And that's what I'm passionate about, and obviously. And that's why it's so wonderful to hear these stories of... Go ahead. Sorry.
I absolutely agree with you. I relate so much with Oprah because when I was a little kid, a lot of people around where I used to live send me for a lot of errands. And my sister said, look, they're using you. And when at that little age, my answer was, no, they're not using me. I'm here to serve. At that little age, I don't know where that was coming from. And that's how I lived my whole life, is in a total devotion and total surrender to that supreme power, that the blessing that's flowing through me, and blessings of my parents. And whatever I'm today is because of the blessings of my parents and my grandparents and the super power above. That's what makes me special. A lot of people come and say, how can you do all that? You meet all the kind of people around the world. I mean, the who's who of the world, and they call you. And I said, well, it's not that I'm special. It is the blessings that's flowing through me that is making me special,
Wonderful. Yeah, I call
and
it.
We're creating another incident. We're creating an actual human red blood cell, which is actually red blood cell. And because what is the problem with the blood around the world? We collect 80 million unit of blood from a blood donation every year, and after that we have 100 million more unit blood shortage every year.
Wow.
It's $100 billion market. Nobody has been able to even touch or even create. So we have created actually universal grade red blood cell. Because what's the problem with blood? First of all, if somebody's in an accident, they may need 50, 60, 70, 80 unit of blood. If you're heart surgery, maybe 20 unit of blood, brain surgery, 40 unit of blood. So first thing you look for is to match, right? You to find out what type of blood, and you have to find a match. If somebody got in an accident in the middle of the night and they need 80 unit of blood type A, where are you going to find it? It's impossible.
Right.
Second problem, let's say when you found it, you are not sure what kind of disease that's coming through that blood, And the third thing you're wondering is there's never enough resource. So we have created an actual human red blood cell from stem cell. First of all, it is universal grade, so you don't have to match. It goes to everyone.
Okay.
Secondly, it is created in a bioreactor in a controlled environment, so no diseases. And third, unlimited resource. We're going to change the way we've been treating human beings just in the blood side. A lot of a lot of kids die or people die because they don't find the bone marrow match.
Right.
Not anymore.
Right.
With this product, we'll be able to do that. So I mean, things that we're doing. This is just one of the things. I mean, Dr. Anand Srivastava is the one who first time the world showed that how nervous, till 2004, entire medical world and scientific world believed that nervous system cannot be regenerated. And he's the one who showed first time to the world that yes, nervous system can be regenerated. And so that Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, autism,
Yes, my mom actually has Parkinson's. So when I first heard of the work you did. Well, we are, unfortunately, we're butting up at the end of the time, and I know we could probably do another 3 shows on the work that you do. But I wanted to thank you so much for coming and sharing what you do. Congratulations to you and your partner on the work that you are doing, and many blessings as you continue to do that. What would be your final word to anyone who is feeling like they don't have a purpose? What would you say to them?
I would simply say God is all about abundance. So why would you feel limited? Your purpose is unlimited.
Absolutely. Yeah, I call him my UPS man, my universal power source. And he delivers every morning that I pray and meditate. And anyone who's got a hang up about religion, we're not talking about religion. I hope you can hear the transcendence, both the connection, even in this first meeting that I have with you, Devon. I know we share that energy source. In my first meeting with Tina as well, we are all inspired by that same energy, and that is the energy of a friendly universe through this thing called life. Thank you so much for joining. That was Devon Patel calling in from India, where he is starting the first and largest stem cell research hospital by providing this regenerative science to the masses. And thank you again, Tina, for coming and sharing your gift, the cello. What's your last word that you would say for those who don't feel like they found their passion?
Wow, I was so inspired by, I don't even know what to say after that last interview. But for me, I think I've met a lot of people perhaps, and even I struggle with it myself at times, trying to find, my exact purpose. But I think if you really have the desire to find something, the desire to be, to find a passion and to also be open to looking for it, I think just being open and having the concentrated desire, because if you don't focus on something, it'll never appear.
Yes.
So I think just purely manifesting it, that might be effective.
Great.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. One last, there we go. I'm all into clapping. And a very short balance bar ending, where you get the menu of what I offer in my Asian Oprah giveaways. Today is a free life balance coaching session on the beach. Just go to my website, to the guest book at 4balance.org, and say balance, and you'll get a free session. Come down to the beach. And next week, I'm going to be the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura, and we'll have another call-in session. I'm going to be giving advice that I don't take, and that will be exclusively on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa Pay. That's P for positive, EI. And remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out. And it's coming. We have your song coming on. There we go.